Well, are you ready? Here it is. Right folks, we're back, and I won't lie, I'm a bit achy from yesterday. The two new bulk bags have arrived. I've got one of soil and one of some gravel, because I've kind of added on a little bit extra work. So I'm going to try and get this finished and wrapped up this afternoon. Time to get digging. Funny, it's like the little things, like what spade or shovel you use can make a huge difference. Yesterday, just a normal square shovel or spade, which is great for digging out and good for kind of leverage and stuff, especially that heavy duty metal one I've got, but it's a much smaller area to lift. And then I bought flat big shovel today, which is much quicker for things like soil, or especially if you're digging off the ground, but you're not going to dig into anything, and it's going to carry about twice as much on it. And then the other option is just a normal pointed shovel, and they're great if you're digging out gravel, hardcore or something out of a bag. You try and hit it with a square spade, you'll just have a numb hand, so you really need that. So it does make a huge difference. You can really struggle if you pick the wrong tool. The question is, do you do half as much digging with twice as much weight on each shovel, or the other way around? Which is quicker and which is going to hurt them more the next day. Also, your technique. If you can just shovel in straight forward, it's a darn sight quicker than digging, turning around to put it in somewhere. We just buy a tractor and make bigger raised beds. So I was wrapping up at about 8 o'clock last night, and I floated the idea that we could get more gravel than just for the path. Just get a bulk bag, it's not a huge amount more than buying the individual ones. And I could dig out this whole area here and we could just tidy it up with gravel. That was before I realised I only had 2 hours to do it. See how we get on. Goes to show that weed matting isn't very good if you've got 2 inches of soil on top of it. But at least it's here, we can reuse it. Nothing beats gravel for instant transformation. "10 minutes to go, then it's the kids' swimming lessons. Got a bit too much gravel, we're going to bank it up the other side of the wall. I've put some gravel on some of the other beds as well to tie it all in. I think we'll probably need half an hour just to tidy up some of the woodworking, the chisel, finish on the joints. But we've done alright, and it should be good enough for the surprise tomorrow." So we finished up. I'm feeling a bit achy, but Liz came back. She loved it, which is the important thing. And both of them have made a start on the planting. The plan is to put trellis panels on the back, both of the beds as well, to enable them to climb peas and beans up there. But it won't be long before this is all growing, ready for the kitchen in the summer. So putting this triangle in here was probably the harder part of it, just getting the angles. It's not easy to cut angles on thick timber like this with normal power tools. There's a little bit of sanding there to take off some of the burn marks and stepping, but it's looking pretty good. Now they're going to leave it to grey naturally. If you were inclined to leave it as a golden oak colour, then you'd want to use a UV oil type product, and we've done that in several projects already, and I'll try and link to some of those at the end of this one. I've also gone over with the belt sander initially, and then just with a 120 grit, just where you might come into contact with it. So if you're brushing up against it, it's not going to be too splintery, and likewise if you're leaning over to plant, it's relatively smooth on top. If you really want to get rid of all the sawmill marks on here, you're going to have to plane it or sit on it with a belt sander for a very long time. And because it's going to be left to grey, all of that will mellow anyway. Well, are you ready? Here it is. Well, there we go, folks. It is finished. And yes, it was a bit of a labour of love, and I'm feeling a bit achy. But using substantial, long-lasting timber like this, it ties in with having an older house. It's a kitchen garden. You want it to look the part. You want to stick to a smaller budget and maybe a little bit more of a lighter weight construction. Next week, I'll be building our raised beds at our place. And for that, I'll be using much thinner timber and slightly lower to the ground. So it's just another option. I've got about 3 or 4 other projects very similar to this, but very different in the way that they're constructed. So I'm going to put the whole playlist at the end of this one. But that's it. Time to enjoy the bank holiday weekend. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, then give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to keep up to date, and you can click the bell symbol, which will give you a notification every time we post a video. Like I said, links to all of the tools I used and also the oak sleeper projects from the past I will put below. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.